Good morning, everyone. Alan here. Welcome to this morning's Code Along. We have 25 people logged in so far, so you're all very welcome. As usual, just give a couple of minutes at the start for people to join in, let everyone join and get ready. If you don't see the steps on the screen yet, so let me just jump to my screen. If you don't see the steps on the screen yet, just refresh the page. Or we have I think I put up a refresh page button here. Just click on refresh and then you'll be able to see the steps. So while we're waiting for everyone to join, I'll just call out a few of the people that we can see joined today so far. So Aoife, OF Skywalker 9, Piper 2021, Isabel B, Coder 55, Vinya, Leah Andrea, Samius, Curl 12, Chris J, Maraid, Tara, Ailish, OK Fox, Vigo, Matteo, Plaque, Polly Pocket, Flower 123, Ash 8. I think I got everyone there. I'll call out names as they come in. A few new names I see there, so you're all very welcome. So let me just show you what we're going to be doing today first. So if I flick across to Scratch. So today we're going to be making a little animation. We're going to be animating the Scratch Sprite character. And what we're going to do is make the cat fly. So if I click on the cat, he's going to run, jump up into the sky, and then he's going to fly. And as you see, there's going to be objects moving in the background, so we're going to have buildings and clouds, and they just kind of add to the animation, to the effect of the cat flying. As we can see, there's different buildings, and the buildings are going at different speeds to the clouds. The clouds are appearing in different locations, and the clouds are different sizes. So we don't always make games in Scratch. So sometimes we make stories, sometimes we make animations, but animations are a really cool thing to know how to do, because you might want to put a little animation in a game, or if you're doing a little interactive story, you might want to put an animation in there as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so let me see, what time is it? It's just 32 minutes past 9, so we'll give a few more minutes. As usual, I'll kind of give the instructions of how these code alongs work. So especially if this is your first code along. So you should be seeing me in this little YouTube box up here. And the way it works is I'm going to demonstrate a step. So I'll have a second tab open with Scratch. So I'll have Scratch open in one tab, and I'll show you a step on how to do it. So if you want to go into full screen, so let me actually do that slowly. If you click on the little icon down here, it'll put this box into full screen. So you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing. So you'll get a good view of the instructions for that step. And then once I'm finished the instructions, I'm going to tell you to go ahead and do that step. So you can come out of full screen, and then you can switch across to your Scratch tab and work away, do the step, and then come back and come into full screen. So you will have two tabs open. At the moment, you only need this tab open with the instructions, and then we'll open up a second tab in a second. Okay, so I can still see people joining in. So as usual for our logged in coders, so there's people that are logged in and there's people that aren't logged in. Everyone's welcome to do the code along today. For our logged in coders, we're going to be giving away a microbit at the end. So these are little cool microcomputers that you can program. They've got LEDs, loads of different things in them. Sensors, like there's a compass, a thermometer, an accelerometer. There's Bluetooth, they have a speaker, they have a microphone, they are really cool and really fun to code and play with. So we'll give one of those, we'll do a little draw at the end for one of those. Okay, so we've got 29 people logged in. So I think we'll get going. It's 34 minutes past 9. Okay, so as I was showing you, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a little animation. So the Scratch cat is going to, let me just do it again. When you click on the cat will run, jump, and then start flying with objects moving in the background. So that's what we're going to be doing today. To speed things up and just to kind of make things a little bit easier, I've created a starter project. So the starter project actually has the background colored in, the backdrop colored in blue. It has a green box that we're using for the ground, and then it has the cat sprite already. So what I'd like everyone to do is to, in step number 1, there's a link here to open up the starter project. So if you click on that link, it'll open up the Scratch website. It'll just take a few seconds to load the project editor, and it'll load it up like this. So you'll see the background, you'll see the ground, and you'll see the sprite for the cat as well. So if you want to just do step number 1, click on the link, make sure it opens up the new tab and opens up this project. And then once you've done that, come back and mark your step as done and get your badge. We've a new series of badges. We've got a spring series because it's spring at the moment. So we have a few of those badges in this project. I can see some people are finding the new react buttons. So we've got a react button here if you want to react to different things as we're working through the code along. Please do that. Okay, so I have 21 have completed step number 1, so I'll just give a little bit more time for people to do that. And then we'll move on to the next step. The next step that we're going to be doing is we're going to make the cat run. Flower123 reacted meh, which is the kind of blank face. That's actually my favorite one out of all the reactions. See different people testing them. Okay, so we'll move on to step number 2, and that's making the cat run. So let me just have a look at the animations. What we're going to do is we're going to program when we click on the cat. That's the instruction, the trigger for the cat to start running. So all we're going to do is we're just going to alternate or flick through the different costumes that the cat sprite has. It has 2 costumes. But first of all, we're going to set up the cat a little bit where we want the cat to start. So we're going to start the cat kind of in the middle, but on the left hand side. And we're going to tell the cat make him show and go to the front layer. What the layers are there's, as you put objects like sprites and different things in Scratch, one of them can go in front of the other. And we want the cat in front of the ground. We don't want the cat going behind the ground, so that's why we're going to use the go to front layer, and then we're going to add some code to make the cat move. Okay, so I'm going to start adding in the code. So let me blow up my toolbox. So to do this, we're going to start off and we're going to get a when green flag clicked. Let me zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Green flag clicked, and we're going to set the cat to start off on the left hand side in the middle. So we're going to go into the motion toolbox and get a go to XY block and join that in. And for the X, so the X is the left and right, what position the cat is on left and right, we're going to say, I think it's minus 180. Let me quickly check. No, minus 185. So minus 185, and then the Y value is 0 because that's right in the middle of the up and down. So I click on the green flag, the cat will go to the left. Then we're going to go into the looks toolbox and get a show block. So when we start the code, the project, we want the cat to show because we will be hiding it at a later stage. And then we also want to get the go to front layer block, and that's in the looks toolbox as well. So I'll click on those just to run the code. And then we're going to add in some code to when we click on the sprite to make the cat move. So we're going to use a repeat block and then use a next costume block to change it through the different costumes and make it look like it's running. So I'm going to move this code down here and go into my events, and this the third block, down is the when this sprite is clicked. So that will run code when we click on the sprite. And let me check my code. We're going to go into the control toolbox and get a repeat 10 block and drag that in, but change the 10 to be 50 because we want to do this 50 times, repeat it 50 times. And then into the motion toolbox and get a move 10 steps, and we'll change that to 5. There's a lot of code in this step, so I will give you time to do it. And then we're going to go into the looks toolbox and get a next costume. So that will make the cat run. And then there was a couple more. And then we're going to hide this sprite because we don't need this sprite anymore. We're going to hide this sprite because we don't need the sprite anymore. And then we're going to broadcast a message called jump, which another sprite is going to use. So let me just add in those. So I'm going to get the hide block from the show. From the looks toolbox and put that in, and then I'm going to broadcast a message. So I need to go into the controls toolbox, which is the orange one, and the events toolbox. I always get those two mixed up for messages. So the events toolbox, and down the bottom there's a broadcast message one. I'm going to drag that in and put it underneath hide. Move this down. And I want to call the message jump, not message one. So I'm going to say new message. Here, can I zoom in there? So I'm going to click on the white arrow and click on new message and then type in jump, J-U-M-P, and click on OK. And let me just run that code. So it'll just start the cat off here. And then when I click on the cat, it'll run and then it'll hide, but it'll broadcast a message which the other sprites will use. So if you want to go ahead and do that code now, there's a fair bit of codes there, so I'll give you enough time to do it. I'm going to mark my step as done, and we'll see how many have done it so far. I can see some coders are working away, going ahead of where I am, working on some of the further steps. That's no problem. Work away at your own pace. If you want to go ahead and work through the project faster than I'm going, that's brilliant. If you want to come along with me. And even if I go a little bit too fast for you, because we just have the hour to do the code along, so sometimes it can take a little while to kind of get used to using Scratch and going between the two tabs. So if I'm going a little bit too fast, that's absolutely fine. Take your time. The project is staying up there, so you have all the time you need to do it. So that's no problem. So I have 14 coders have done that so far, but I will give another couple of minutes because there is 2 blocks of code there that we need to add in. So I'll just run through them again. So you're going to go into the events toolbox and get a when green flag clicked, and then go into the motion toolbox and get a go to XY block. That's the blue blocks. So the go to XY, that sets where the sprite is on the screen. The X is the left and right position, and the Y is the up and down position. Then you're going to go into the looks toolbox and get a show block. So that's going to make the sprite show at the beginning, and then go to front layer. So if it's behind a layer, we want it right at the front. Then we want to program when we click on the sprite. So we want to make the sprite run and then broadcast the message jump. So you're going to get when this sprite clicked block, and that's in the events toolbox. Then into the control toolbox, which is the orange toolbox, and get a repeat 10 block. And you're going to change the number 10 in that to be 50 because we're going to repeat something 50 times. And what we're going to repeat is you're going to go to the motion toolbox and get a move 10 steps. I'm going to drag that and put it inside the repeat 50 block and change it, instead of move 10 steps, to be move 5 steps. And then into the looks toolbox, which is the purple toolbox, and get a next costume block. And again, that's going to go inside the repeat 50. So we're going to repeat 50 times to move 5 steps and then change onto the next costume. Move 5 steps, change onto the next costume, move 5 steps, next costume. And because it happens really fast, it makes the cat move and look like it's running as well. And then after we've made it run 50 times, we're going to hide the sprite by going into the looks toolbox and get a hide sprite and put that underneath the repeat 50. So it doesn't go inside it, it goes underneath it, because we don't repeat the hide. The hide happens after we've made our cat move 50 times. And then we're going to go into the events toolbox and get a broadcast message 1 block. But we're going to click on the little white arrow and say new message, and then type in jump, J-U-M-P, because we're going to send a message to the other sprites that it's now it's their time to run some code. So we're going to actually make the ground go down, which is going to make the cat look it's moving up. Okay, so I can see that 20 coders have completed that step. I'm just going to scroll down to see if anyone's giving me a thumbs down, if anyone's having any problems. Looks like everyone is going along okay. Again, if I go too fast for you, it's okay. Just take your time, go at your own pace. The steps stay up there. You know, the project is always there for you to look at, and we'll put the video of the code along up once we're finished. I'm just going to actually hide my video so I have a bit more space. Okay, so we're going to move on to step number 3, and this is where, so after the cat has ran and hidden, we're going to actually just make the ground move down. And in a subsequent or in a later step, we're going to actually add in a cat sprite, another cat sprite, but make it look like it's flying. And with the cat sprite looking like it's flying and the cat and the ground's moving down, it makes it appear that the cat is flying up when it's really just the ground that's moving down. Okay, so let's see what code we need to do this. So this is code that we're going to be giving to the ground sprite. So we have 2 sprites in the project, the cat and the ground. We're going to be giving this to the ground. So we're going to make it go to x0 and y minus 30. So that's just to position it at the start. And then when it receives the jump message, so let me zoom in. When it receives the jump message, we're going to repeat 100 times, change y by -2. So we're going to take away -2 from its y position. So y position is up and down. So if we take a number away, that makes it move down. And then we're going to broadcast a new message, which is fly. Okay, so let's get going and add this code. So again, I need to click on my ground sprite here so that this has the blue box around it. You'll notice I've no code anymore here. That's because the code I added was for the cat sprite. So I click on the cat, that gets the blue box, and we see the cat's code here. And I click on the ground, that gets the blue box, no code yet. Okay, let me check again. My memory is terrible. I always need to go back and check the instructions. So when green flag clicked, go to x0, y minus 130. Okay, so into the events, when green flag clicked, into motion, go to xy, so x0, y minus 30. So that already had it there, so because that's the position it's currently in. So bonus. And then I'm going to go into the event toolbox and get a when I receive jump and drag that in, and it goes on its own. And then into the control toolbox and repeat 10, but we're going to change the 10 to be 100. So we'll repeat 100 times, and then into the motion toolbox. And you need to be careful with this block. We're getting a change y by 10. There's also a set y2 block. We do not want that block. We want the block that begins with ch, change y by 10. And we're going to put that inside the repeat, and we're going to change the 10 to be -2. So instead of 10, we're going to put in -2 because we're going to make the ground go down. And then we're going to broadcast a new message called fly. So into the events toolbox again, you can just bring in any broadcast block, so broadcast jump, and we're going to, let me scroll up, click on the little white flag, or white arrow, sorry, and click on new message, and then type in fly, F-L-Y. So we're sending another message that we're going to use called fly. Okay, so if you want to come out of full screen, if you're in it, and go ahead and add that code, again, I'll give you enough time to do that. So I'm going to go back and mark my step as done and see how everyone is doing. So that was step number 3. So I'll just wait for my stats to update. Okay, so 15 have done it already, so well done. Keep on going if you are still working on it. Take your time. I only just stopped doing it myself, so take your time. I'll give you enough time to do it. Just check while we're waiting. How many steps do we have? 4, 5, 6. So we've 6 steps, and then the 7th one we're just going to talk about. Maybe we can add something to it and maybe come up with different ideas. So 6 steps to do, and we've done 3, or we're working on the 3rd one now. So well done, and keep going. The next one, what we're going to do is we're going to, as I said earlier, we're going to add in a new cat sprite, but this one looks like it's flying, and we're going to make that appear now. And with the ground moving down, it's going to make it look like the cat is flying up into the air. But I'm going to give some more time. I'll give it a couple more minutes just for people to finish the last step. So again, just take your time, and just go at your own pace. For those of you that are waiting, if you do want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, there's a red subscribe button here, and clicking that will open up our YouTube channel, where you can then, I'm logged in so I don't see it, but you can click on there'll be a subscribe button there, and you can see all our other videos. You can see when we're up live. We're at 984, I think, subscribers. Let me find out how many subscribers do we have. We're at 984, so we need 16 more to get to 1,000, so we're trying to get that. So where are we? We're up to 17 coders. 18 coders have completed it, so well done everyone. I'll wait maybe till it gets to 20, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is to add in the Flying Cat Sprite. Let's see what code we're going to use for this. So we're going to set it up. So at the start we won't see that sprite, because we'll see the cat that's running that sprite. So the Flying Cat Sprite will be hidden at the start. Again, we're going to make it go to the front layer. We're going to do something for it when it receives the jump message. So we're going to make it go to the same place on the screen. Zoom in. We're going to make it go to the same place on the screen as the running cat sprite. So when the running cat disappears, we're going to make the flying cat appear, but right in the same position that the running cat was. And that way it kind of looks like the same character. And then we're going to switch it to a particular costume, which is Flying Bee, and then make it show. And then we're going to, when it receives, so that's to make it jump, and then we're going to make it fly, which is just to change it into a different costume. Okay, so how are we doing? All right, we're up to the 20. Brilliant. Okay, so well done everyone. If you're still working away on the steps before, just keep going. You'll be able to do it. Okay. So the first thing to do in this step, so if you want to go into full screen, we want to add in a sprite from the sprite library. So down the very bottom left is for our backdrops and our sprites. So click on the magnifying glass, and that opens up the sprite library. Let it load up. And we're looking for the Flying Cat Sprite, which is this one down here. It's called Cat Flying. So if I click on that, I will add it into my project here. Okay, so what code we're going to add? So when green flag clicked, hide and go to front layer. So when green flag clicked, into looks, and we'll get hide and go to front layer. And then when I receive jump, go to sprite 1, so into events again. And where is this down here? When I receive, and we'll change it. So click on the little white arrow, change it to jump. So when I receive jump, and then into motion, and there should be go to random position. So I'm going to take in this go to random position block and put it in underneath when I receive jump, and then I'm going to click on the little white arrow. Oh, let me zoom in. Little white arrow, and I can choose Sprite 1. Sprite 1 is the name of my of the running cat sprite. So that's where we want this flying cat to go to. So when the running cat, when we hide that, we want this sprite to appear exactly in that same position, and that's what this block will do. Okay, and then we're going to say switch costume to cat 1 Flying Bee and show. So into the looks toolbox, and switch costume to flying, or is it cat flying bee? Cat flying bee, is that right? Cat flying bee, yeah. and then we're going to get a show block. So again, in the Looks toolbox, show. We scroll up and get a little bit of space. So then we're going to add in another when I receive, and this time when I receive fly, and we're going to switch costume to cat flying A. So into Looks toolbox, get a switch costume to, but change it to be cat flying A. So let me click on my code to see this working. So click on the green flag, refresh my code, click on my character, and you'll see there, so let me run it again. So the flying cat is going to appear. It's actually going to stay in the exact same place. This cat does not move. All it does is show as a certain costume of kind of with its arm pointing up, and then it switches to this costume when it receives the fly message. And you'll notice that it looks like it's flying up in the air, but this doesn't move. It's just actually the ground that moves down, and that's what we're doing in our animation. So let me run it again. Click on the cat, watch the ground, and watch the sprite. So the sprite stays, the ground moves, but it looks like the cat is flying. And that's kind of a part of animation. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and do that code now, I'll give everyone some time to do that. So this is step number 4. Let me mark it done. Oh, this is for step number 4, you get a space series. You zoom in. Space series is probably my favorite series of the different ones that are in that. Let me see what I got. So I got an astronaut, which is pretty cool. Yesterday there was a SpaceX launch. I don't know if any of you saw it or heard about it. So there was a launch by SpaceX, launched a rocket carrying, I think, 4 astronauts up to the International Space Station, and they're staying up there for 6 months. In our next code along, so we're doing another code along this morning for kids 10 years and older. It's a little bit more challenging. We're actually going to do a rocket lander project, which is kind of inspired by SpaceX, because when they shoot a rocket up into space, if they're launching a satellite or if they're delivering supplies to the space station or even astronauts, the rocket that they shoot them up on, they actually are able to land it back down on the Earth, which is really, really incredible. And that's what we're going to be doing in the second code along today. Okay, so let me see, we've got 13 coders have completed step number 4. So take your time. We're just about halfway through, and we've only got, after this one, we've only got 2 more steps. So I'll give a little bit more time. As we're waiting, oh, my camera's after dying, so you should still be able to see me. That's not to worry. So I'll restart my camera. Hopefully that might kick it back in. If not, don't worry about it. So as we're waiting, I'll just call out some of the coders that I can see here. So Samius, Vinya, Ailish, Leandria, Polly Pocket, Code Ninja, Tara, Plaque, Tractor 123, Vigo, Coder 1234, Isabel B, Piper 2021, Maraid, H. Giyoshi, 1234 Ed, Ruby Red, Ailish, Matteo, Adam B, Tractor 123, Polly Pocket, Coder 1234, OF Skywalker, Ash 8. So lots and lots of coders. Some new OK Fox, Coder 55, Chris J, Ruby Red. So some new coders there. I wonder, actually, can I switch? Let me try and switch cameras while we're waiting. So we have 18 coders have completed step number 4. So we'll wait till it gets up to about 20. I'm just wondering if I have a second web camera here. Can I switch onto this? If not to worry. Having my face on the screen isn't really that important. The most important thing is the code and all you boys and girls working along. I'm not sure if the angle is the angle's going to be pretty wonky. Let me Let me quickly test it and see. Where's my second camera? I don't even think I have it set up. No, I don't have it set up. Oh, not to worry. We'll just go on without. I wonder actually if I go into a different. So if I go onto screen and then come back on. Nope, camera's not working. What if I go onto this one? No, small cam. Yep. Yeah, not really the best angle. As you can see, I've got two monitors. I've got a light, so you can kind of see my setup here. I got my screen. This is how I actually change all the different shots of the broadcast. You can see I've got different coding things here. That's actually a cool robot car that you put a microbit into that you can program. But anyway, we'll just go on without the main camera. Okay, so what are we up to? We're up to 19 coders. Have completed it, so well done. So we'll wait till that gets to 20. Once we get to 20 coders here, we'll move on to step number 5. Step number 5 is we're going to add in some buildings, and we're going to make them move across the screen. And this is where the layers come in. It's important because we want the buildings to go behind the cat sprite. So we're not up to 90, or we're not up to 20 yet, so I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. We're only at 10 o'clock, so and we've only got 2 steps to go, so maybe I've gone a little bit fast. So I'll give people a little bit more time. You can see Ailish there has completed the project. Well done, Ailish. She got one of the spring series, a cloud, sun, rain. Legendary. Let's have a look at some of the other ones. So we've got sports series, autumn series, that's a new series as well. Outdoor series, space series, my favorite. Yeah, there's a rainbow one from the spring series. Sports series. Coder 55 got a rocket, that's actually the logo that we use for our coding club, which is a rocket. Okay, so we're still at 19. I'll still just give a little bit more time for people to catch up. So we've got a planet moon, which is a pretty cool one. Flower 123 got that. And OF Skywalker got a starship, legendary, nice. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and move on to step 5, because I do want to give a little bit of time at the end to do our draw for the microbit. Probably too zoomed in there, so we're going to be giving that away. Okay, step number 5. So this is to add in the buildings sprite. So we're going to add it in, and then we're going to set it up. We're going to hide it at the start because we don't need it at the start. And then when it receives the fly message, we're going to make it show, and we're going to make it in a forever block. So we're going to make this keep on happening. We're going to start it off on the right hand side of the screen. So right over here, it's going to start here, and we're going to choose a costume, and then it's going to just move across the screen. Then it's going to change its costume, start again, move across the screen, and so on. And that's how the different buildings appear. They're just different costumes of the same sprite. And the repeat 100 and change X by -5 makes it move. So if you remember, the X number is left and right. So if we take away 5 from it, it makes it move to the left, and we're going to repeat that. So we're going to repeat it 100 times, so it's going to move to the left. Okay, so let's add in the sprites. I'm going to go into the sprite library and find the buildings. So this is alphabetical, so buildings, here it is. Oh, sorry, let me move here. So here's the building sprite, click on that, and it adds it in. And then into the events toolbox, and we want to hide it at the start. So we've done this a few times already in this project. So when green flag clicked, hide. Then when I receive fly, we want it to show. So into the events toolbox and get when I receive fly, and then into the looks toolbox and get a show. And then what we want to get is a forever block. So into the control toolbox for these, so the orange one, and get a forever block and put that underneath. And we're going to go into the motion toolbox and get a go to XY. So this is where we want to set it to the off the screen where you cannot even see it. So we're going to put X is 280 and Y is 0. So let me put in 280 for X and 0 for Y. And then we're going to get a next costume. So into the looks toolbox and get a next costume. Make sure you don't get the next backdrop. That's what changes the backdrop. You can have different backdrops. We want to get a next costume. So next costume, and that goes in underneath the go to XY. And then we're going to go into the control toolbox and get a repeat. And we want to put that underneath the next costume. Sometimes you can put it in and it might suck in some of the blocks, and that's not what you want. So all you do is you just break them apart and you start again. And you wait till you kind of get the shadow where you want it, and then you can drop it in. So how many times did we say we're going to repeat? 100 times. So repeat, instead of 10, we'll put in 100. And then into the motion toolbox, and we want to get a change X by 10. So not set X to, or not change Y by, it's change X by 10. And that goes inside the repeat 100. And because we want to make it move to the left, we want to put in a minus number. So -5 will make that move to the left. So let me check, that's all the code. Okay, let's run this. So I'm going to click on the green flag. So it loads up all the code. I'm going to click on the sprite to start off the animation. Up the cat jumps, and now when it receives fly, we did not get the building. Oh, is it jump or fly? When make it move when I receive fly. Okay, something's going wrong, so let's try and figure this out. So let me run it again. So it jumps up. Why is the building appear? Oh, I've put in -280. So just a very small mistake that I made. So instead of putting in 280, which is on the right hand side, X280 is on the right hand side of the stage area. I put in -280, and that's why my building, which you can kind of see it here, is appearing here. So, okay, let me fix my code, change this to be 280. And now click on the green flag, click on the cat. So my buildings should appear, come in from the right here. And there we go. So there's one going by, should go on to the next costume and start again. And that's what the forever is doing. So it's making it go back to the right hand side, changing costume, and then making it move 100 times to the left. So if you want to go ahead, come out of full screen if you're in full screen and add in that code. There's a fair bit amount of code in there, so I'll give it a couple of minutes for you to do that. And I'll go back and mark my step as done and get a baseball. Very good. So 25 coders have completed step number 4. So well done, everyone. I'm seeing green thumbs up, flower 1, 2, 3 liked. So I've added in some React buttons. So at the top of the coding feed, you'll see a kind of green React button with a white arrow. If you click on that, you can choose any of the reactions. So we've got green thumbs up if everything's going well, red thumbs down if you're having a problem with something, or if you want to react, we've got like, love, lol, oh dear, and meh. I think meh is my favorite one, so I think I'm going to choose that and see it go in there. Okay, so I'm just waiting for my stats to update on step number 5. There we go. So we have 19 coders have completed step number 5. Well done, everyone. I can see some people trying it out there. So other people put in meh. Curl 12 is a red thumbs down. I don't know if you're trying that out or if you're having a little bit of trouble. If you're having a little bit of trouble, just take your time. As we just saw with mine there, I made a mistake and it wasn't working correctly. So that happens all the time. And when it does happen, you just gotta stop, have a little look and try and figure out what is going wrong. So I noticed that the buildings were appearing on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. So that gave me a clue to go to the block that is setting where the buildings appear, which is this go to XY. And then when I saw that this was minus 280, I went back and I checked my instructions and I noticed that I should have put in 280, not minus 280. So we're all going to make mistakes from time to time, but you just got to slow down, have a little look, have a little think, and try and figure out where it is you went wrong. It's always good to go back and check the code. You check each block that you've put it in correctly, and then normally you should be able to find out what went wrong. Okay, so we're up to 20 coders have completed step number 5. So we're going to add on, or we're going to move on to step number 6. And this is quite similar to the building one, to the building step, but this time we're going to actually add in clouds. So the clouds are going to appear in the sky. And what we're going to do, just to kind of make it look a little bit better, is make them move at a different speed to the buildings. And that just kind of adds a bit of depth or a bit of kind of extra look to our animation, just makes it look a little bit better, a little bit more real. Okay, so if you want to go into full screen, if you're following along with me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the cloud sprite, first of all, and say when green flag clicked, hide. So let me add in go into the sprite library, and I'm going to look for the cloud, which is here. Click on the cloud, and the cloud gets added in. Now I'm going to go into events. We've done this a good few times. So events, when green flag clicked, looks, hide. And then when I receive fly is the block that we want. So into the events toolbox, when I receive fly, check my code. So we're going to make it show and then get a forever block. So into the looks, and we're going to make it show because we want to make it appear when it receives the fly message. I think it's the cache. Is it the cache? No, it's the ground that broadcasts the fly message. And that's when the ground has reached the end or the kind of bottom of where we want to move it to. So when I receive fly, show, and what was it? Yes, a forever block. So into the controls toolbox and get a forever, and add that in. Then we're going to set where it appears. So again, into the motion toolbox and get a go to XY. But this time we're actually going to do it a little bit different. So let me zoom in on a code here. So we're going to start it off, we're going to put in 280 for X because we want to make it appear on the right hand side. But where it appears on the Y axis, on the Y number, which is up or down, we're going to pick a random number. And the random number is between minus 50 and 170. And if I switch across to the stage, so that's just this kind of area here. So we're going to make it appear somewhere random here because we don't want the same cloud appearing the exact same place every time, because then it kind of just looks like it's not really the same video or animation you're watching. But if we make the cloud appear in different places and even make it different sizes, it'll make it look different and kind of make it more realistic. So we want to get a go to XY. We're going to say 280, not minus 280, Alan, in here. And then for the Y number, we're going to go into the green operators toolbox. And in here, there's a pick random 1 to 10. That's the block that we want. And we're going to drag that in and we're going to put it inside the Y number. So instead of 10, you'll see when I put it close to it, it kind of gets a halo, which means it's ready to be dropped in. I drop it in, move over, and it goes in there. And what did we say? Minus, let me check my code. So minus 50 to 170. So minus 50 and 170. And what else? And then we're going to make it move to the left. So repeat 250, and we're going to change it by -2. So if you remember, we actually changed the building. We made the building move at -5, but we're going to make the clouds move at a slower speed, so -2, which means we need to repeat it more times to make it move all the way across the screen. So we're going to get a repeat block and then a change x by 2. So back into the control toolbox and get a repeat and put it in underneath. So we're going to repeat 250 times, 250, into the motion toolbox, and again, being careful what block we get. We want to get the change x by 10 and put that inside and change it to be -2. So it goes a little bit slower than the buildings. So let's click on the green flag to refresh my code, and then click on the sprite to get it going. So this time we should be seeing the buildings move across, but also a cloud. And the cloud is going at a different speed. And I'll just wait for a second cloud to come in. It should appear in a different place. There it is down the bottom there. And as you can see, it's going behind. Oh, that's pretty cool. The three of them going together. You can really see the layers working there. Okay, so if you want to come out of full screen, if you're following me, and go ahead and do that step. So it's quite similar to the step for adding in and programming the buildings, but what we're doing is we're putting in the pick random for the Y position, so the up and down position. So how are we getting on there? So 22 coders have completed step number 5. Well done, everyone. So that was step number 6, and this is the last step. This is the last step in the project today. We will just have a little chat about maybe what, some of the ideas that we might be able to do to add into the project. But I'll hang on and let people finish step number 6. So step number 6, we have 17 coders have done it already. Well done. For the other coders who are still working away, keep on going. You're doing really, really good. Keep on going. I wonder, I'm gonna try and get my camera working again. I wonder if I do the old plug it out and plug it in trick, if that'll work. So I'm gonna give it a go. Okay, let's see if this is working. Nope. Didn't work, not to worry. So what are we at? We're at 18 coders have completed step number 6. Well done, everyone. What I'm actually going to do in the meantime while we're waiting is I'm just going to get the names of the coders for today so we can get them ready for our draw. How many do I have? I have 22. So 22 coders have completed step number 5. So I'm going to take everyone that's completed up to there. And I'm going to get them into a list so I can show you. We'll drag this in. So there we go. We've got 22 coders. I'll give it a minute and I'll update that list if I see any more have done it. So let me see. We've 19 coders have completed step number 6. So well done. Mairead has completed a project and got a flower. Oh, look at that. I've never actually seen this one before. This is from the summer series. It's the island, the tropical island one. It's pretty cool. Tara got a seedling and a sun. Oh, there's a sunrise. I like the outdoor series. There's a GAA ball for Leandra. Polly Pocket Caravan. Matteo got a Nordic skiing one. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're up to 20 coders. So well done. What I'm going to do now is we'll just have a little chat about what we could add in to this project. So let's have a look at the project. So it's pretty cool. You know, what could we add in? We could add in sound effects. You could kind of maybe add a kind of record a kind of whistling or a wind sound effects to make it, you know, to add in a little bit of, to make it feel like the cat is moving through the air. We could change the size of the cloud, which is something I might do now. So just to make it, it's at the moment, it is appearing at different places, but it's the same size. But what you could do is you could go into the Looks toolbox and you could say set size 2 and put it inside here. And instead of 100%, we could get another pick random 1 to 10 and change it to be maybe say 20% to 100%. And now when I click on the green flag and start my code again, so we'll have a little look now. So what should happen here is we should get different size clouds. So there's a large enough cloud appearing at the top, and when a new one comes in, it's a little bit smaller, but it looks different. And you could even play around with the colors, you know, change the color to make it a little bit darker or something like that, like rain clouds. You could add in birds, you know. Do you have any ideas yourselves? If you have any ideas, maybe put in a green thumbs up. But that's something extra you can do. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of people are completing the project and getting their 250 points. Well done. 25 coders have completed step number 6. So that's brilliant. Well done, everyone. So let me actually get my list again, because it seems like we've got more. Yeah, I have the 26 here, because I want to make sure I get everyone. Okay. 26. So I'll keep an eye on that. If it goes up, higher, I'll pull in the extra people. Okay, so let's do the draw, because we're at 22 minutes past 10 now, so we're nearly finished the hour. So again, well done everyone who has done, who's worked on the code along today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gives you some ideas for different animations that you can do, and add them into games, add them into stories, interactive stories, things like that. Okay, so let's choose I'm going to choose a centaur character, because he's pretty cool looking. And he's going to tell us who is our lucky coder today. So we're going to add in code for him. We're going to say when green flag clicked. We're going to make him think for 2 seconds, and then we're going to get him to say, the lucky coder is number. And we need to choose a random number. So we've used this block actually today. So lucky number between, and actually before I do this, let me just check that I have everyone, because I don't want to miss out on any coders from today. Everyone should have a chance. Okay, it's still 26 coders. Okay. So between 1, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, Ed, and Vinia, who is 26. So this is alphabetical, but everyone has an equal chance. And like I said on our last one, if it is somebody, so let me just put in 1 and 26. If it is a coder that's won one of our microbits before, we're going to do the draw again. So I'll give that coder who has won it before. If you win it again, I'll give you something else. We'll send you something else out, a little piece of kit. But I do want to give the microbit itself to somebody new. I think that's only fair. Okay, so let's see this go. So let me just make sure my screen is showing properly, and I'll blow it up. So, and that's actually just a little tip. If you ever want to go full screen on stage, there's a little box up here that you can click, little arrows out, and then the arrows in makes it smaller. So here we go. Who is the lucky coder? So, oh, I have to click on green flag, sorry. The lucky coder is number 2. So who is number 2? So number 2 is 2511. So there's a coder 2511, that's your username. We will be sending you out the microbit will send you an email just to find out where it needs to go to. So well done everyone for today. Here, let me switch on to here. So there we are. So well done everyone for today. Sorry, my main camera, I don't know what happened to it. It stopped working. Hope you enjoyed the code along. For anyone that's older, we're doing another one at 11 o'clock this morning for 10 plus, where we're going to do a rocket lander project. It's really cool. And then we'll be doing another code along next Saturday, same time at 9:30 in the morning for 6 to 9 year olds. So well done everyone today, and see you soon. Have a good day.